What's up, everybody? Corey from My2Cents, and today we have an LG G5 unboxing and overview. If you've seen anything about this phone lately, it's got a lot of negativity, but we're going to take a look at this thing and give you my honest opinion on it, its build quality, and kind of what the phone's all about. So you can see that this is the T-Mobile version, and we'll go ahead and slice it open and get started with getting this thing out of the box. That's kind of cool box. It opens up like you're removing the battery. So that's the big deal with this phone, is that you do have the removable battery on it, but it's supposed to be a premium style build also. Pull this up and out. So here's our phone. It's kind of got like a Nexus 6P camera bump thing going on. I'm not sure if I'm such a fan of that design. Got our SIM card, our little welcome guide. It tells you a little bit about how to get the battery out of the back. It's pretty simple stuff. Press the button and pull, and it should come out for you. A little bit of information on the warranty. We also have some product stickers, and one thing that's cool is it is USB-C. It was kind of a letdown for me on the S7 stuff. I understand that they did that for the VR and compatibility of other products, but I am pretty excited to see this phone has USB-C. Your standard LG wall charger here also. And we do have a SIM card removal tool, a nice little round guy here. And then nothing else. Alright, so let's go ahead and toss the box aside. Let's get this phone out of the wrapper. Now, I'm not going to bore you with watching me pull all of the plastic off this phone. It has a ton of plastic. Plastic screen protector, plastic on every single side, plastic on both sides, and front and back of the battery. Grip in the hand, it's a little weird. Let's just take a closer look at the phone itself. So you can see front of the phone's got our earpiece speaker, front-facing camera, and it's kind of got a little bit of a curved screen right here at the top. It folds it down, which is a little interesting. We do have our volume button on the side, up and down. We do have our battery release button right here as well. So it's supposed to be for the Friends module as well, so you can put additional friends onto it. Downward-facing speaker. We have our USB-C port microphone. Our SIM card, micro SD card slot on this side. Let's take a look at this SD card slot, pop it out. It's a little bit lengthy in its size. So I'll pop it here real quick and just see what this is looking like. And it's a little snug. There we go. So it's kind of one of those sideways trays. Wider than longer. And then up here at the top we have our headphone jack. We also have our microphone and an IR blaster on this phone as well, which is pretty awesome. So the back side here, you actually have two cameras, a standard, then a wide angle lens, which is interesting as well. Power button and our fingerprint sensor here on the back. So let's talk a little bit about the specs of the phone. The display you're getting is a IPS LCD, 1440 by 2560, 5.3 inches. That's roughly 554 pixels per inch. Gives you great brightness. The colors, the AMOLEDs are usually just a little bit better. You're getting a Snapdragon 820, 4 gigs of RAM, and it comes built-in storage 32 gigs, but you can push that to 200 with the micro SD card slot. A 8 megapixel front shooter for the camera. All the standard stuff in there as well. You're getting Bluetooth. It is 4.2. You're getting your AC Wi-Fi, USB Type-C connector. Now the big stuff on the back side of the phone here is going to be your fingerprint sensor, which is really pretty good, which doubles as the power button as well. You're getting the dual camera setup. The main shooter is a 16 megapixel with OIS. And then you get the secondary camera, which is actually a wide angle lens, and I'll show you that a little bit later, but that's an 8 megapixel camera there as well. Has a 2,800 milliamp battery, but it is removable and swappable there. And if you're doing the promotion, you can get an extra battery cradle, and the friends can help boost it up, so it's kind of an interesting little setup there. The camera does record in 4K, and you are also getting the autofocus, the laser autofocus also, which is pretty cool. So let's take a look at the phone. It has this tap feature. I am not a fan of the tap unlock. It just isn't consistent for me. I haven't played with a ton, but one thing that did function quite nicely is the fingerprint sensor. I haven't had a misread yet, which is a cool thing. But you slap a case on there, or you're using it day to day. Really, I mean, sometimes you just can't get the finger to read right. So The other one that's interesting about this phone and on this build, which I didn't like, is this bezel that runs around the backside. I mean, they're trying to go for a premium build, which we know is half plastic, half metal. I mean, it doesn't feel necessarily that bad in the hand. It doesn't have that cold metal touch, but it feels kind of sharp. It feels like it should have a plastic removable back because of this line, and I'm just not a fan of it. You can see the battery connector. A lot of talk has been about the fact that this has been warped or that it's not flush. I must have gotten a good model. Mine seems pretty flush. It's not really that warped. There's no dents, no dings in the frame itself. And it functions pretty well. You can see when you press the button, it'll actually kind of snap apart, and you can pull it. And so my connector is nice and solid, and it seems very flush. You can see where it sits in on the inside here. Basically, just a flat circuit board. That's where the connector sits. Push it back in, and I'll show you that one more time here. When you push your connector button, the release button, you'll see that the back will want to snap off. Now, it's nice and snug on this model. You can see it pops off. So I'm not sure if they're having some quality control issues or what, but I'm pretty happy with the build quality of this phone in my particular case. Now, over time, we'll have to see how this connector feels. I mean, if you're getting a lot of friends on this, you're putting the hot swappable stuff on there, who knows what's going to happen. Well, let's take a look at the camera. It's got a pretty nice camera. I was expecting it to be not super great, but I guess LG does normally have a pretty good camera on their phone as well. You got a lot of options here. You do have that Pro or the manual mode on the camera as well, so you can change your white balance, your shutter speed, your ISO, all that stuff that we've seen become a lot common on phones these days. Now, you do have the two options here, like I was saying. You have the regular, which is the one I'm using now, which is using the 16 megapixel camera with the optical image stabilization. You do have the option to save your pictures as RAW as well. But the other thing that's kind of interesting is that you have the wide angle lens and a simple mode as well. And the difference is the wide angle lens, it pulls it pretty far out there. Now there is a little bit of fisheye, that rounding around the corner, but you get a lot more in the shot. You can see the difference between these two pictures on the camera itself and how much more you actually get in there, which I heard them saying that it's more than the human eye. So definitely a quality camera. Now when it comes down to it, would I recommend this phone? And I'm happy with it. I'd say it's a good buy. It's not the most expensive phone out there either. $630 is what I paid for it off of T-Mobile. The LG Cam Plus is going to add an extra $70 on that. The LG Cam 360 could be a couple $100. I haven't seen the pricing for the Hi-Fi, the additional friend model on there as well, but they said they're going to release more if it's a big hit. So, I mean, you could end up paying more than we'd see for, let's say, an S7 Edge with all the features on there, but you would get that extra benefit. So, depending upon what you want to do with it, if you're looking for price point, good phone. If you want expandability, it's a good phone there as well. One thing that I'm questioning is the durability of that friends button over the long haul. But, you know, if you're down with LG and you like their phones, I would say this is a good buy. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.